Welcome to this video. Through a case study, we will try to understand the role documents play in an international trade. The role of documents in international trade. Let us look at a case study where there is an export of organic coffee beans from Colombia to Canada. Now, in February 25, for example, the Canadian specialty coffee retailer Brew contracts with the Colombian coffee cooperative Café Orgánico de Valle to purchase 20 tons of organic coffee valued at $500,000. The shipment is to be delivered from Buenaventura, Colombia to Vancouver, Canada by mid-April 2025 via ocean freight. This transaction leverages the Canada-Colombia Free Trade Agreement. It is called COFTA and aligns with the growing demand for sustainable goods. So environment is there, free trade agreement is there, and then cross-border trade is there on a agro commodity. Let us see how it plays out. Who are the parties? Exporter is Café Orgánico del Valle, producer and shipper. Importer is Brew, purchaser, distributor. They are in Canada. Freight forwarder is Columbia Translogic, who manages the shipping. And we have to ensure that this shipping entity helps us to ensure the continuity of the supply chain without loss of integrity of the goods. Customs authorities are Colombian DIAN and Canada Border Security Service Agency, CBSA. They have to oversee whether the goods are as per COFTA. And then the bank is Scotiabank on Canada, who issues a payment letter of credit, and insurers Seguros Bolivar, a Colombian insurance company. Okay, let us see what are the key documents that will be used. The first document is a commercial invoice, forgetting that letter of credit is already issued. The purpose of commercial invoice is to detail the transaction between the buyer and seller. It serves as a bill, it serves as a proof of sale, it's an evidence of transfer of title of the goods. What are the details in a commercial invoice? It will have the name of the seller, the name of the buyer, that is Café Orgánico and Brew. It will describe the goods, 20 tons of organic coffee beans. It will have the unit price, 25,000 per ton. It will have a total price, 500,000. It will have an Incoterm, FOB Buenaventura, free on board, and payment term, letter of credit. Then it will also, the role of the commercial invoice in this case is that the Canadian Customs will use it to assess the value and the taxes, while Scotiabank will verify it against a letter of credit for releasing the payment. So commercial invoice is an important document in this case. The context is that if it is dated March 15, it will ensure transparency in pricing amid fluctuating coffee commodity rates. So date of invoice will be considered for looking at the price which is applied on the transaction. Now let us have a look at the next commercial document, which is a packing list and bill of lading. The packing list specifies the contents, the details of required for the customs to know how many containers, how many cartons, how many packets. It helps in logistics handling also. For example, this will say 400 bags of 50 kilo each, weighing 20,000 kilo in total. It will say the dimensions or the pallets, etc. The role is that the shipping company uses it to load the container, checks it against the invoice to confirm or confirm there are no discrepancies or undeclared goods. The context is that it ensures compliance with Canada's import standards for agricultural goods. The bill of lading is important because it acts as a contract between the shipper and the carrier. It's a title document, it's a control document, it's a receipt for goods, and it's a document to title. The details mentioned in the bill of lading are who issued, who is the carrier, who is the agent. For example, Maersk. It will say from which port to which port in which vessel. That's a destination, load port, Buenaventura, Vancouver, etc. The container number, the shipment date, when it was put on board, etc. Café Orgánico hands over the BL to the Scotiabank for payment release, while Brew uses it to collect the goods at the Vancouver. So the bill of lading is treated as a quasi-negotiable instrument by Trade World, and so this instrument controls when and who will be eligible for payment or can become responsible to make the payment in return for getting the BL. The context is that it speeds up the process, and this BL in the current trade we can assume, because it's a Maersk, issued in a digital form to make things faster and take use of the current technology. Certificate of origin Certificate of origin is an important document in this case because it proves the goods were procured or manufactured and their quality is ensured, and it becomes whether eligible for trade agreement benefit or not proof. The details in the certificate of origin is that it will have to be issued by, say, Colombian Chamber of Commerce. It has to certify that this coffee is 100% Colombian and 100% organic to become eligible for COFTA zero tariff trade. The CBSA, Canadian Border Security Agency, requires it to waive duties, saving Maple Brew approximately $20,000 in tariff if the certificate proves it's organic coffee from Colombia. This is essential for the Canada Customs, and US tariff threats are there on non-regional partners. Let us also look at other documents that would be required. For example, export license. The export license authorizes export of controlled goods. Colombian DIAN issues a permit confirming compliance with the agricultural export regulations, which is no pesticide in the coffee that is being exported. This will ensure Café Orgánico meets Colombia's export control, and it is a reputational risk control measure. This will avoid delay at Buenaventura port. This is critical because it is included for regulatory completeness. Let us talk about certificate of insurance. Now, this confirms coverage against loss of damage posted during transit. This is issued by Seguros Bolivar in Colombia. It covers 500,000 for risk like water damage or theft, valid from 20 April to 15 May only. That is the period of transit. The role is that it protects both the parties. Maple Brew submits it to CBSA as a proof of risk management for high value perishables, and then this is given to the bank so that the bank will make the payment against this, or in case something goes wrong, they will have to use the insurance policy to make payment under the letter of credit. This is required because of the rising climate risk. At what point in time you will have a flood, you nowadays don't get to know. So there is a requirement to cover the commodities. Another document that we can look at here is a phytosanitary certificate. And the phytosanitary certificate is important because agricultural goods are involved. They have to meet the health and safety standards. The Colombia's certification agency ICA will confirm that the coffee is free from pests, free from diseases, and it's an organic coffee. CBSA requires this document to ensure it will be cleared quickly. Otherwise, a biosecurity risk will come into picture, delaying in the shipment reaching the buyer. It is critical for perishables because Canada is enforcing stricter import rules, and if the goods remains in customs, it may get spoiled because of not taking care of the right temperature. What is a letter of credit? The letter of credit is the document that ensures payment for the party. It guarantees payment from the buyer's bank. Seller is happy if he is able to submit the desired documents and meet the defined terms and conditions. Scotiabank issues the LC for 100,000. It is payable against submission of documents. So it is at site. What are the documents? The BL, the quality certificate, certificate of origin, invoice, etc. The role is that the shipper, Café Orgánico, will receive the payment once the documents are compliant. So this will reduce the risk. It is widely used payment mechanism, and because of letter of credit, a bank, a third party, is stepping in to ensure the documents comply with the various regulatory requirements as per the terms and conditions of the LC. The transaction flow, for example, 15th of March, the goods are shipped, Maple Brew and Orgánico agree into the contract, LC is issued. 18th March, they prepare the coffee, get the phytosanitary certificate and packing list. On 20th March, the goods are loaded onto the ship, BL is issued, and it is because it is cleared for export on basis of the certificates that are provided. On April 12, the shipment arrives at Vancouver. The Canadian Customs clears it because the invoice is satisfactory, BL gives adequate information, the packing list, the certificate of origin, all those documents are satisfactory to the Canadian Customs. And then on 15th April, Café Orgánico submits the documents to Scotiabank, and they receive 500,000 in return because the documents are compliant. So here we have seen letter of credit as a payment instrument, phytosanitary certificate, insurance certificate, export license, certificate of origin, bill of lading, packing list, and commercial invoice as the various documents called for under the LC, playing different roles to ensure the risk is mitigated and payment comes on time. The insight is that the shipment gets cleared by the customs on both sides if the documents are complete and correct. The payment comes on time if the documents are as per letter of credit. The comprehensive documentation and the clarity provided by these documents ensure it is tariff-free entry, and because of that the cost is reduced. However, there could be minor delays, maybe in getting the phytosanitary certificate or because of the ship reaches late, and this needs to be controlled to ensure the documents are submitted to the authorities in time and to the bank in time to get the payment in time. Documents are the backbone of international trade. They mitigate the risk. Bank deal in document and not in goods. The customs entity, the shipping entity, everybody needs some document to ensure that the underlying contract is properly understood and the terms are met. Digital documents like EBL is being used by Maersk. LC can be issued through blockchain. Payment can be made digitally through SWIFT. All those things are happening today because of the use of technology to speed up things. But again, the document has to be complying in spite of technology. This is very important to ensure you get the payment under the letter of credit. Thanks for watching this video. We will come up again with more information on technological advancements.